Why Ethereum Classic should be the second largest blockchain in the world. One of the most powerful arguments that we use when explaining Ethereum Classic ETC to the world is that it is Bitcoin's philosophy with Ethereum's technology. There are only two major inventions in the blockchain industry. The first one is proof of work, POW, as a consensus mechanism, and the second one is smart contracts that provide programmability to the blockchain. The greatest and most secure blockchain that is proof of work is Bitcoin, and the largest smart contracts blockchain is Ethereum. However, the only and largest blockchain that has both features at the same time is ETC. This will make ETC, together with Bitcoin, one of the most important and valuable technologies of the future. There are four big categories of blockchains. Unfortunately, there is not a lot of honesty in the blockchain industry, and many participants have little awareness of the core principles of decentralization. This has created four main segments in the sector, of which only one is truly decentralized. There is a small group of blockchains that are permissionless and censorship resistant, and those are proof of work because it is the only consensus mechanism that enables a peer-to-peer cryptocurrency to be truly decentralized. Then there's a larger group of proof of stake POS networks that were created opportunistically as a reaction to the energy consumption of proof of work. However, these systems have no real innovation and are nearly as centralized as traditional banking. Proof of authority POA blockchains are an even more centralized model because all the nodes participating in the system are selected, trusted third parties. Finally, there is a government-sponsored type of networks called central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, that imitate the decentralized design of blockchains but are completely controlled by the government and banking system. Blockchains must be judged by their weakest link. As we wrote above, of the four segments that we mentioned, only proof-of-work blockchains may be considered truly decentralized. Furthermore, it is important to note that any cryptocurrency will be as weak as its weakest link. That is that, of all the components used to build it, if it has one minor detail that is centralized, then the whole system will be centralized. For example, hybrid blockchains that combine proof of work and proof of stake, or proof of work and proof of authority, must be centralized because the security brought by proof of work is cancelled by the centralized technology. There are also badly designed proof of work blockchains. Another important fact to bear in mind is that just because a blockchain may be proof of work does not mean that it will be decentralized. Although proof of work is a necessary factor, it is not sufficient to make a blockchain decentralized. There are three main things that would make a proof of work blockchain centralized: hybridization, rank, and block size. As we mentioned before, hybridization is that it is a mix of proof of work and another weaker consensus mechanism. When a centralized component is added to a chain, then the whole system will be centralized. Rank is the size of the blockchain and whether it is the leader in its consensus mechanism. Rank is the size of the blockchain and whether it is the leader in its consensus mechanism. ETC, for example, is extremely valuable because it is the largest proof-of-work smart contract blockchain in the world and the leader in its consensus mechanism. If there is a fork that is smaller, it doesn't matter that it has the same design. It will always be vulnerable. Block size determines the bloating of the network, and bloating of the database leads to centralization. The counter strategy to bloating is pruning the data, but pruning also makes the system centralized because the whole system will be either unverifiable or dependent on a few full nodes. There are only two inventions in the blockchain industry. As we mentioned in the introduction, there are only two important inventions in the blockchain industry: proof of work and smart contracts. The major invention by Satoshi Nakamoto when he built Bitcoin was to use the information of the block stamps so that all nodes in the network would know which is the correct block in each round without having to check with trusted third parties. The same information serves as the unifying focal point when the network splits or when nodes want to join for the first time or leave the network and join again. However, Bitcoin could not be programmable, so the next step was to add smart contracts to proof of work. This is when Vitalik Buterin came with the brilliant idea of combining the Ethereum virtual machine (EVM) with a gas system and the programming language, which gave programmability to proof of work. Ethereum Classic is the only blockchain that has both. The amazing thing is that of the top 2 blockchains in the world, Bitcoin is proof of work but is not programmable, and Ethereum is programmable with smart contracts but is not proof of work. This is what creates this incredible void in the market that only ETC can fill because it has both inventions in one system. ETC is incredibly well designed because it is the original Ethereum, but it stayed with a proof of work consensus mechanism. Philosophically, ETC shares the same ideology as Bitcoin, as its motto is "Code is law," and it values immutability as its highest principle. Technologically, ETC is a state-of-the-art EVM blockchain because it constantly upgrades the system to be on par with Ethereum virtual machine standard. Only Bitcoin and Ethereum Classic should prevail. In terms of market positioning, Bitcoin is a very strong system because it is the first mover, has network effects, it is truly digital gold, and it is the largest proof of work blockchain in the world, making it extremely resilient and safe. As a single function system, Bitcoin is perfect in its position and very difficult to dethrone. However, of all the systems below Bitcoin, we only reach ETC to see which is the next one with equal value. The systems in between in the ranks imitate the qualities of Bitcoin and add contracts, smart contracts, but none can be as secure because they have all chosen either proof of stake or proof of authority as their consensus mechanism. This means that eventually it would be only natural for ETC to become one of the top 2 blockchains in the world together with Bitcoin. Thank you for watching this Ethereum Classic video. To learn more about ETC, please go to ethereumclassic.org. Thank you very much.